Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian, and today I'm talking about adding the power to your bass lines. I'm talking about the feel of the line that the other people you're playing with depend on to lay it down. A guitar player and a keyboard player many times, or a horn player, are just riding on top of the rhythms that you're laying down, and they're depending on that, and you've got to really lay it down. This is what it's about. I've heard so many bass players, you don't really feel the beat like you need to drive the band, and that's what I'm striving to show you today. If you have a good drummer that works with the bass player, all the better. But many times you find yourself just playing by yourself with another player, and in which case then you got to carry more of the load because the drummer is not there. So I'm going to show you how to do this and what to think of and suggestions. So let's take an A. This will be a root A to an A chord or something. One E and a 2 E and a 3. So the next thing you can do to help yourself out, first I would advise play that and record it. How does it feel? How does it sound? Does it sound like it's not really even? Well, then let's work on that if that be the case. What I'm going to do is we're going to count all 16th notes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dead notes on after each downbeat in 4/4 time. So it would be so now you have it established. It's 16th notes, you know what it feels like, and then try to accent the 16th note for the downbeat of 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. After you do that a bit, try it just a downbeat and a 16th note before it. That may not work right away, and you have to work at it a little bit. So right now we're going to use a metronome. The metronome works great. I've used the metronome in a number of ways all through my years. At this time of my life, I don't use it so much anymore, but I have a solid background of that metronome pounding the beat in my brain, and I really love what it did for me. So let me share some of the things I learned. I can't do it all in one video, but I'll do it little by little as I go along. On this one, we're going to go for 50 beats per minute. A quarter note equals 50 beats per minute. And we are playing 16th notes. So that means every beat there's going to be 4 notes. Because 16th notes, there are 4 16th notes in a quarter note. So you have to take that into consideration. But the clicks are going to be on the 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a, like that. Since a quarter note equals 50 beats per minute, the quarter note sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice there was 4 clicks per every quarter note. That's how we determine a quarter note equals 50, and although a quarter note is very slow, the 16th notes go in between and you have to subdivide it. Let's go over this example using the metronome. You'll notice I played the note on the downbeat and I played the dead notes on the 16th notes in between. Okay, that establishes our tempo. So what we want to do is just get used to playing the whole measure with all the 16th notes. Next thing we want to do is put that 16th note right before each downbeat on 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So what I'm doing, I'm hitting the last 16th note of each beat long and the downbeat short. You can use the syllables and the metronome. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. There's many ways to use the metronome, and it really has gotten a lot of positive results with my time, and I recommend it highly. However, there are some people that don't believe in it, and if you have a way to do it and get your time together, all power to you. But you got to do something to make that strong beat. You're a bass player, it's your job to keep that beat strong and accurate and with musicality, feeling. Your rhythm section will love that. When they feel that strong beat, they're home free. They don't have to think about the beat because you're pounding it in on the foundation, and that's what everyone desires. That's what makes a good bass player. The next step will be go up to the fifth, and you have to cross strings, so that may be a challenge. Here's how I approach that. This is kind of another style altogether, hitting the root to the fifth with an additional note in there. This is a samba. Sometimes it's played very fast. When you hear it at that increased tempo, it's usually referred to as a jazz samba. There's a lot of jazz players that have used that, Chick Corea and Jaco even. At the end of this video, I'd like to leave you links to a couple of tunes, one by Jaco and one by Chick Corea, using this style. It's very interesting and it's worth listening to the whole thing. I was going to put a clip in here, but you're only allowed a short amount of time, and I really think you should listen to this. If you've never heard these people, I'm sure you will be impressed. Not only that, it reinforces the lines I'm showing you here today. If you've ever heard Jaco's first album, he did this thing with the Jazz Samba. He embellished it a little bit. It became a little more complicated, but beautiful and simple in the respect that it's only a root and a fifth. He played something like this. What Jaco is doing there is he's placing a half note approach to the root and then a half note approach to the fifth. But then he makes it a little fancier than that. He uses a hammer-on or a slide. I think it's a hammer-on he uses, but that's what I use. It's a little easier. You could use a slide, but I think that takes a little more effort. Now then he adds one more item to it. He puts a dead note in right before he plays one of the approaches, the root, and sometimes even the fifth. Of course, he plays it much more quicker, and I'm going to show you that right now, and that will be it. And he plays it at a pretty steep tempo, and you can try that out yourself. I worked it up to that tempo, but I think it's somewhere around there. But it sounds great, and when he plays it, of course, with all the other players in his band in Weather Report, it sounds ferocious. That's all for this video. Please subscribe, hit the bell to be notified from videos yet to come. Like, comment, let me know what you're thinking about. Do you have suggestions for future videos? I take all my suggestions seriously. Also, I'd like to say at this time, if you're interested in learning getting a teacher is really your best option. A teacher can observe what you do and how to correct things and see things that you can't think of. You can, of course, search around on video tutorials, but that's kind of hit or miss, and a lot of times these videos were not made specifically for your needs, so you have to try to pick out everything that might work for you and experiment, and then sometimes you find out, well, it really didn't help as much as I thought. This thing's missing. With a teacher, you're observed. I observe my students. I find I don't just teach by a book, page by page. I observe, and each student gets a different approach depending on his needs. Is it time? Does he need to know more theory? A better repertoire, how to play the blues, how to play a standard, how to play a rock tune, all these different things, and I can specifically give you help on any of those or all of the above, and you get a better deal because you learn more thorough, quicker, and it is enjoyable. So anyhow, also, I'm going to get a lot of those lines written down and put them on Patreon. It may take me a couple of days, but I'll get to it. And drop by again sometime, and thank you again.